Hi, I'm Steve Green. Using an isobutane propane stove is easy. If you've been thinking of buying one, I'll show you my ultralight favorite, the LightMax Gigapower titanium stove from Snow Peak.
It weighs just 1.9 ounces and costs about $60. The Snow Peak small 110 gram fuel cartridge weighs 6.9 ounces full and 3.1 ounces empty. Fuel cartridges cost about $5. The stove is 3 inches high and about 4.5 inches in diameter with the pot supports fully extended. The LightMax comes with a nice little carrying case, but it weighs 3/10 of an ounce, so I find it plenty protected to store the stove in my cooking pot with my matches, spoon, and kitchen towel. You can save 1/10 of an ounce by leaving the protective cap of the fuel canister home. If you do toss it, just be sure to always keep trail grime away from the canister. It also comes with this metal tag. If you'd like to keep it, that's fine, but you might as well detach it from the stove and keep it with your camping gear. Spread out the pot supports and extend them fully. Make sure the small flame control handle is closed. When you fold it closed over the detached stove, it is usually in the partially open position. Screw the stove onto the fuel canister. Keep the stove and canister upright when threading. Tighten securely, but don't over-tighten, which will prematurely wear out the O-ring in the stove. To light, turn the flame control counterclockwise a partial turn, then light the stove. The LightMax has a nice, even flame pattern, and it functions very well from a full flame right down to a simmer level. It's quieter than most of the isobutane propane stoves. It functions well at high altitudes. I've used it at around the 10,000 foot level. It works well in cold conditions too. Cooking times vary by conditions, but the LightMax is fast. The small canister of fuel will last just over 1/2 hour, according to Snow Peak. I've never timed it because I never cook on full heat. I found with several of these types of isobutane propane stoves that I can put the heat control at about half and get a lot more meals from a fuel canister. Cooking at a lower setting seems to add only a couple of minutes to the boiling time. You can weigh your partially used fuel cartridges and closely estimate how much fuel is left. A full canister weighs 6.9 ounces, and an empty canister weighs 3.1 ounces. Snow Peak recommends that you use only their fuel canisters, but others will work. That's good to know since the canisters can't be sent by air, and there is a hazardous materials charge just for surface transportation. You often have to take what you can find. Difficulty in finding fuel canisters makes isobutane propane stoves difficult to use on the long trails, like the Appalachian Trail and especially the Pacific Crest Trail. Don't detach the stove and canister while the stove is hot. It will cool down quite quickly, well before you finish your meal. You can reattach a fuel canister as often as you like. Snow Peak recommends that you don't use windscreens because extreme heat can build up around the fuel canister. In windy conditions, I've tried to keep the stove running at high efficiency by keeping some of the wind away, but making sure I'm not trapping dangerously hot air near the fuel canister. I've never had the fuel canister feel hot to the touch.
The LightMax stove from Snow Peak is ultralight, durable, and easy to use. See over 80 more videos and a free ultralight backpacking book at hikelight.com.